I've trekked down to 3L Engineering to see Jean in his new premises and to get the update on V8 Stealth Beetle. So Jean, this is officially welcome to episode 3 of V8 Stealth Beetle. A lot's been going on, we can see that. We're in the new premises. You've been working flat out on the vehicle. Well, we've got two engines here. We were looking at a Ford. Is this a short block?
Yeah.
Now we've got this lump here.
Doug, yes. I was given the opportunity, or I had the opportunity to pick this engine up. And it's a little bit more of a challenge to fitting the 302. We will be fitting fuel injection. We'll be fitting 2 turbos to it. So we thought, we are already doing such an extreme project, let's go a little bit extreme on the engine. We're actually going to gain a little bit of horses as well. This is maybe 500 plus horses. The 302 was just under, maybe 450 horses. So it's more about a challenge than anything else.
And I think actually it's quite apt, Ford V8, we've got a Volkswagen Beetle, and now we've got an Audi engine.
Exactly, it's just a little bit more true to nature to fit an Audi to a Volkswagen than a Ford. Yeah. Fantastic.
Oh, cool. So I know you wanted to really explain in a bit more detail some aspects of the work that you've been doing. So I think maybe let's get stuck in. Just let me know a little bit about what's been happening with the engine. Now you've got this new Audi engine.
Yes, Doug, the first thing that happens is we position the engine where we need it in the car, relevant to the rear drive shafts. We are governed by the gearbox, which is this bit here, and we're governed by the drive shafts, which are the shafts that leave the gearbox and which will be driving the wheels. Now, we have already determined that this is where the wheel's going to be standing, so we're working back from the wheel towards the gearbox, towards the engine. This is the machined new drive flange for the gearbox, and this is the position of our future drive shafts, which will meet here via a CV joint.
Okay, well that certainly makes a lot more sense. So you've positioned the engine. How does it stay there? I mean, you've got this huge big 500 horsepower lump, and you've got a metal frame. How does that work?
So we build engine mounts and we build gearbox mounts. This is the right-hand side gearbox mount. I've designed and then had this component laser cut, as well as 2 smaller components, and this has been machined. All of it has been TIG welded together. The rubber bush has been machined to size, and it will fit inside here, which we will press in quickly, like that. The gearbox will hang and get mounted to the chassis via this rubber bush, a bolt fitting through there, and that is to give some movement to the gearbox, and we will do the same scenario with the engine itself. So we've got a pillar here connected to the chassis, we've got a rubber mount, and we've got the engine mount sitting above it. So the whole engine and gearbox are sitting on 4 small rubber mounts.
So we've got the engine, it's nicely mounted, it's got a little bit of play. How do we work now through the drivetrain back to the axles and to the rear suspension?
Doug, with this project, which at this moment in time is still a one-off project, we are not going to develop the suspension from scratch. We're going to use a donor suspension. So I've decided on the BMW E39 suspension, which was used on the M5. It's a nice robust suspension. It's aluminium. It's the right offset for what we want to do. So what we've done is we've positioned a second-hand unit here, and again we're working from this position back towards the chassis. We have a bottom wishbone. These 2 pickup points have been machined and manufactured to suit the cradle. The 2 top pickup points, this one and this one, is being done at the moment and will be on here shortly.
This original donor vehicle is 50 years old, and it had little pencil-thin tyres. We're not going to be doing that with 500 horsepower around, are we?
This is the original Beetle wheel, which, to be quite honest, is just not going to work for 520 horses. So we're going to replace that with something ever so slightly better, and we'll bring this one across. This is a lot wider, but more important, we've chosen a very nice rim. This is called a Halley brand rim. This is just a second-hand unit for development work. So these will obviously be replaced with new. But this rim is from the 60s, so I think it's a nice choice for a 1965 Beetle. To get this guy to fit in here, we've had to do some changes. So the very first and the most crucial thing is we've had to move the suspension inwards. We don't want this bug to look like a hot rod. We don't want the wheels to stand out the side of the car. So we've moved the suspension in, and we have, though, unfortunately, the rear fender would probably have to be widened by about an inch and a half.
That's about a wrap on episode 3, V8 Stealth Beetle. Thanks, Jean. Still a long way to go, but we're getting there. You can see much more progress now. Guys, jump onto social media. We're on Instagram a lot. So there's going to be lots of amazing images of what's going down. Ask questions. One very quick word on crowdfunding. We are looking for funding to make these videos as good as we can make them. So visit this website, and we will see you very soon.
Coming soon.